Good morning, YouTube, and welcome back to Fernvalley Farm Beekeeping and Horses. All right, what we're going to do this morning here is something a little different, no beekeeping. I'm going to put shoes on my one horse, Ringo. If you've seen that video, that little quick one I made of me riding him down the road the other day, he needs front shoes. And he's never had shoes on before, so this might be a rodeo, it might not be a rodeo. And I'm not sure how good the footage will be. I'm just trying this, because if I put the camera behind him where I shoe, which you'll see in a few minutes, I don't know if he'll care. He might not. He's pretty good. I've had him since he was a baby. He's kind of like a dog. But he's never had shoes on before, and the reason I'm putting shoes on him, and anybody that's got horses should know this. I get these questions all the time, because I just have a horse shoer. I've been shoeing horses like forever. I won't say how many years. It'll age me. Anyways, when they're barefoot, and if you're walking on stones or rocks or hard, any kind of even if you're trail riding with a lot of rocks, your horse is going to feel a little ouchy, kind of like if you walk barefoot. If you're barefoot walking around on gravel, kind of the same thing. Not all the time, but sometimes. So some horses are fine with it, some need shoes, some don't need shoes. It all depends on the horse. So you can't say, yes, your horse has to have front shoes. I'm putting them on because when I take them down the road, like that video of me riding, on the smooth gravel, he's perfectly fine, but there's a lot of, they just kind of redid the road not too long ago. They added more rock to it. So there's big hunks of stone, and when he steps on that, I can feel him, kind of like, ouch, ouch. You move him over to the grass or where there's not the big rocks, he's fine. And I am going to take him trail riding, and there's rocks on trails. I'm just going to put shoes on him, especially for right here, because there's times when you have to cross parts of that road, and he's just ouchy walking on the big stone. The small pea gravel or small fine, he's fine. Or like on the pavement, the asphalt, he's perfectly fine. I'm just going to do it for the times when you have to cross some of the road that's got some of the stone on it. So I'm going to put shoes on him. This is the first time he's ever had shoes. We'll see how it goes. Let me go get him, and I'll bring him in, and we'll get this thing started. And hopefully I can get some good video behind him, me nailing the shoes on. So I will be right back. Okay, here we are. He was outside. He's like wondering, what am I doing this early in the morning? Go in here. I will turn this camera here. There. This is my wash rack in here. It's where you can bring horses in to wash them. It's got a cement floor. It's got a drain on it, like a shower stall type thing. So this is where I'm going to shoe him. He's already been trimmed. I actually trimmed his feet a couple of weeks ago. So there's really not much foot to take off here. I'm just going to pretty much just level it, shape it. Shaping a horse's foot is very important. Any of you guys that got your horseshoe or shaping feet is very important. You let horses flare out too much, they could bust over your shoes. If they're barefoot, the sides could bust off. So keeping a horse's foot in shape is very important. That's the basics of this. I want to try and do more videos on this, but that's the basics of this. So shaping a foot is very important. A front foot should be round if they read the book, right? But not all horses read the book. So a front foot is supposed to be round. A hind foot is supposed to be, I shouldn't say it's supposed to be. The book says they're square on the sides, round at the toe, but not all horses read that chapter either. So the general shape of a hind foot is square on the sides, round at the toe. The general shape of a front foot is round. So, but if there's horses that have been neglected, not taken care of, not trimmed properly, they could be all kinds of weird shapes. He's kind of pointy footed, which I'll show you. He doesn't have a round front foot. He's got square sides, round toe, but I'll show you that. This is kind of the quick version of this, because I could just go on for hours about this stuff, but we're just going to do the basics of this in this video. So let me get started here. I'm going to try and put this camera behind him and see how he does. oil water order again continues until 8:30 this morning. Now There's no bright lights, so that shouldn't bother. But if I pick his feet, I can see. Okay. So all I'm pretty much going to do is pick it out, level it. And he's kind of a butthead sometimes about doing his feet. He's always been kind of dumb about trimming his feet sometimes. And this will be, all I'm doing here is cutting some of this lip off to make it level. Because when you trim and they're barefoot, you bevel the edges so they don't chip. You want to make sure it's level across here. Sometimes when they've been barefoot, it's hard to get them totally level. Because if you take them too short, you can make them sore. Let's get to the other foot. Can you see this? Yeah. These kind of videos are really hard to do without a camera person. So I'm not going to touch his back feet because I've already trimmed them. Can you see this? Yeah. So the back feet I'm not going to do nothing to. And he doesn't really need back shoes on. Sometimes it's a must. But in his case, it's pretty much just his front feet. Come here. Horse. He has always been funny. What are you doing? Just stand here. Okay, now the foot is level, so now we're going to shape it up. I'll show you. I think he's a little concerned about what's behind him. Okay, so this will be a total first, putting his foot on the foot stand to shape his foot. He's never done this before, so we'll see. This is a foot stand. Come up here. Right there. Usually they always stretch also. Foot right here. The foot stand saves my back and my leg. That's why it's real important to get the flares off. got to measure them just to show you, but I can just tell by looking at them they're the same length. You got a pair of calipers, you measure the length of the foot. You want to make sure they're even on both feet. You push down on the hairline until you get to the solid part of the coronary band, that's called. Right there, right there. Okay. There's that one. There. There. Don't get out of the camera view here now. There. He's like, what are you doing? Come here. Generally the first time. Come here. You see it? Yeah. The more you do this, the more used to it they get. Let's see how good I am. Bingo, right on the money. See that? I'm just double checking it because his foot moved. Check that one. Oh, come on. Foot there. Yep. Right on the money. I'm going to shape this one a little bit better. This foot's a little wider than the other foot. And sometimes when they're barefoot, it's hard to get both feet the same length when they're barefoot. Yeah, so when they're barefoot, or they've been barefoot, sometimes it's hard to get them both the same length. So if you cut one foot, if you got one foot that's short, one longer, if you cut the longer one down to match that short one, you could make them sore. So always keep that in mind. I'm going to fit the shoes now. So, let's see here. Shoes come in different sizes. You got aughts, you got ones, you got twos, threes, you got triple aught, double aught. They go in different. I think he's gonna wear a one, but let me just double check. Let's see. This is why I haven't made many videos like this, because it's really hard when you're trying to do this by yourself. Where's the animal? Right there. Okay. One's going to be too big, so I'm going to go with an aught. If you have too much heel sticking out, they could catch it and pull it off. That's the basic version of the explanation. See if you can see this. Instead of using an anvil, I use this. I do have an anvil. I like my anvil better than this, but this is good for quick portable stuff. put this down so you can see this. And you always want to shape the shoe to the foot, not the foot to the shoe. Let me put this camera in the back. Let's see. You can see this better. So yeah, you want to fit the shoe to the foot, not the foot to the shoe. See this? Yeah. Now I'm just going to turn these heels in so he can't catch them. You can see this front foot is not round. That's kind of odd shaped. His feet have always kind of been this shape. His front feet are almost the shape of a hind foot. But over the course of the summer, in shoeing him a few times, his feet will shape up more. They'll get in better shape. He's been barefoot all this time. All right, so all I'm going to do now is back punch these nail holes so the nail will go all the way through. You just take a punch and you back punch. Because when they're manufactured, you got to open them up a little bit. Alright, that one's set. Let's fit the other one. Let's see how this goes. There, right? How did I go over it? I'm gonna make sure what shoe I went with. Let's see here. Come on, your foot. He's like, what are you doing? I think I could do this in about 2 minutes. Not bragging, but I've just done it enough. Come here. Come here. Give me your foot. He's a little confused. Normally this time of day, we don't do this kind of stuff. Let's see. You see this? It doesn't help his sister, who's only a year old, is out there running around like a fool because he's in here. That don't help. Come on. Yeah, kinda. Like I said, this is where the camera person comes in handy. Almost. But she's got to get used to him coming in. They're not outside together, but just the fact that I brought him in. Okay. You want to make sure the shoe is level. Get your foot up. That is not helping. She's out there running like a fool. Like, where's my brother? Even though they're across from each other in the paddocks. Yeah, that foot is still. That's better. He's got kind of an odd shaped foot. And he's got kind of an odd shaped foot here. Okay. See the shape of his foot? It's not as wide as the other foot. This is where the fun might begin, so we'll see. Let me let him just stand right here. What I like to do with horses I've never had shoes on before, get the first 2 nails in and put it down. Sometimes the trickiest part is getting it lined up because you want it straight. So you do this pretty quick. And I'll do this quick. There. You gotta go fast. And when you drive the nail through the foot, you gotta bend it. As I'll show you at the end, you gotta bend it over really quick. Because if he pulls away, that nail will slice your leg right open. I've never had my leg sliced open, but I've been caught by them. Sometimes with a horse for the first time, it's better to just kind of tap the nails in kind of slowly. Just kind of get them in. And then once the shoe is on all the way, then kind of set them. He's not being too bad. This could be worse. This could be worse. But we ain't done yet, so stop bragging. Put 8 nails, 4 on each side. Now that it's all on, and I don't know if you noticed how that nail head is set right. Where's that shoe? By back punching that nail head sits right in that crease. And that's a number 5 nail. That's your most common general nail for this type of shoeing. Well, more. Oh. Well, that wasn't bad, but I still got one more to go. Here again, we'll get the shoe on quick, put it down, finish nailing it. Good here? Yeah. I want to make sure you can see. Lined up. Started. Hurry up. See, it figures. It never fails. You'll get one nail that wants to. That's not good. Let me fix that. That's better. I'm here. I'm just going to keep going. He's a little more nervous on this foot, so I'm just going to keep going. I'm not going to put it down. This nail was coming out too shallow, so I'm replacing that nail. That's why it's important too to get the flares off. If you got too much of a flare, you can't get a good nail. And if you drive these nails in the wrong spot, yes, they can feel it. That nail hole must have a... There. Now that one doesn't want to come out. So what you do... he's really leaning. He's never done this before. But he's not being bad. Okay, I'm not sure where that cut out. But that last nail, I had to put a hook on it, and then he was losing his balance, so I put his foot down. I'm not sure if that got recorded or not. One more nail and we're done. So when they don't come out, you put a little hook in the end of the nail. I know you can't see it. It just helps steer it out. And you'll see. Well, whoops. I know, you're like wondering what is going on here. What I was explaining, these nails, you really can't see it on here. They've got a flat side, and then the other side is flat, but it curves in. It curves down and in. And that enables the nail when it's going, you always put the flat side to the outside of the foot. So when it goes in, this curved side here helps push it out the side of the foot. If you don't get that to come out in the right spot, you could make the horse sore. And if you stick them with a nail, you'll know it, because if the nail's going in kind of not in the right spot, they'll start to pull up on you. You just pull it out, do like I did, put a little hook on it, it comes right out the side. So it was really good. Now we got to clinch it. Clinching is when you cut, which you'll see, you cut the ends off, you cut the long part of the nail off, file underneath it, bend it flat, file it flat, so there's no rough edges, and you're good to go. So let me show you that here. That's the last step, and then we're done. And he was really good, actually. He's a little dumber on that foot for some reason. So, sometimes when you do this, on the camera screen here, it looks like it's farther away, but when you actually watch the video, they come out good. So now we're going to cut, which we'll see. And you have two rasps. One rasp is for nails and the other one's for foot. So when the foot rasp gets dull, you switch it to the nail rasp. Put right there. They always stretch. They just love to, they always stretch. You just cut, you cut the long part off. Hopefully you can see this. Okay. Then you file underneath the nail. I'm going kind of quick because here again, first time. You file underneath it, you take your clinching tongs, you bend it flat. Flat, and you pound it. Yeah, this part I usually don't like sometimes, especially brand new. You want to make sure the nail's flat. And then you take your nail rasp. I like to kind of shiny up the shoe a little bit there. Then you run your hand across it to make sure there's no sharp edges. If your hand doesn't catch on nothing, then you know it's good. You don't want to leave sharp edges for obvious reasons. You want the horse to cut its leg. You don't want to file these too much, so they could break off. Then you got to pull the nail, put a new one in. Here, get over. Come here. Smile for the camera. Oh, horse, really? Come on. I don't know why he's funny about this foot. Oops. When you file the excess foot underneath that nail, when you do this, it bends over and lays flat 90% of the time. Ooh. Oh, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. Once I do this a few times, he'll get better about it. He's really not being that bad. It could be worse. Every time I do this, I always tell the horses, I don't get your feet dirty. You got nice, clean, brand new feet. There, nice and smooth. He's really funny about that foot. Come up here. Come up here for the camera. Come on. Come here. Whoa. I'll zoom in on that so you can see what it looks like. No. No, stand right. Come here. Come on. Come on. I know you're on a cross now. Come here. Alright, now you see how nothing's hanging over the foot. These are all flat, both sides. He's good to go. There. Not bad for his first time. That's it. Shoeing a horse for the first time wasn't bad. I've had more adventure. I've had some that were a lot more adventurous. It really helps when. So if you're watching this video and your horse hasn't had shoes on, work with your horse and make your horseshoer really happy. Work on picking up their feet. One little trick you could do: pick up their feet with time. Oh, I got to feed pretty soon. I got to leave and go. I got 2 to go trim this morning. Yeah, it'll make your horseshoer really happy. One thing you can do is pick up their feet, take your hand and tap on them. Even if you got like a small hammer, bang on them, or if you got an old horseshoe laying around, put the shoe on the foot, just tap on the shoe, just make the sound of the shoe. So yeah, if you got an old horseshoe, put the shoe on the foot, tap on the shoe, bang on it. Just for the sound and the vibration, that usually bothers them the most. When you go to nail on them, most of the time they're not bad if you can do it quick. If your shoe's quick, get the 2 nails in, get the shoe straight, put the foot down, let them rest, pick it back up. Sometimes I gotta go 1 nail, put it down, 1 nail. It all depends on the animal. They're all different. So every horse responds different to this. He was pretty good. Like I said, I've had him since he was a baby. He came here when he was 4 months old. He's 9 this year. He's like a big dog, but there's times where, like, he's like a bad puppy. So, but anyways, yeah, you work with your horse. It'll make your shoer happy. I've had some people don't do nothing with them, and it can be a nightmare at times. Then there's been times you just can't do it, or you gotta wait and have a vet come out and drug them because they're so bad, and put them. They'll stand there asleep, but at least you can get the job done. Other ones like him, he was fine. But this will be done now every 6 weeks. And when you got shoes on, 6 weeks. Some horses I have to shoe every 5 weeks. It all depends again on the horse, how fast their feet grow. It doesn't make the people that have to have their horse shod every 5 weeks doesn't make them happy because of the money. But what are you gonna do? Most people usually don't care. They want to just take care of their animal. Him, I'll do every 6 weeks, but you never know. If I look at him, he's getting really long. What are you doing? I don't know. I'm not sure what he is. Are you bored? He wants to eat. It's feeding time. It's like 20 to 7 in the morning. I started this at what? I started this at 6. It wasn't bad. I got him in here at 6 and started working on him, so that didn't take too long. And I don't know if you can hear his sister out there hollering. I'll do some videos with her too. I just taught her. I just trimmed her front feet. I just got her trimmed. That's another video, but anyway, so that's it. Work with your horse, pick your horse's feet up, bang on them, tap on them, whatever. So hopefully you guys like this video. Any questions, comments, just ask. I'll answer them the best I can. The biggest thing is shaping a foot properly. Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't take a rasp to the outside of a foot and shape it. That's not true. You can. I mean, obviously you can go too deep, but if you got big flares, you got to take them flares off. If not, your shoes are going to bust off. The foot's going to bust over the side of the shoe. You're not going to get good nails. That's a whole nother topic. But I'll try and do more videos on this. Like I said, it's just hard when you're doing this by yourself. This didn't go too bad. I'll be curious to see what it looks like when I put it on the computer. So anyways, questions, comments, please ask. Hopefully you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will talk to you later. Say bye, Ringo. I'm not sure what he's doing here. I think he wants to go outside and eat. Yeah? No? You want to go outside and eat? Yeah. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. All right, bye.